In this learning module, we're going to review adolescent development with a focus on adolescent brain development. In order to understand this fully, we need to go back to intrauterine development, where we know that the neural tube in the intrauterine environment eventually grows the bulb, which will become the human brain, begins to partition into sections and into lobes, and is already a learning organ prior to birth. By the time a human being is born, the capacities for language, capacities for hearing, for seeing, all of our senses, and the capacities for engaging with each other are already kind of hardwired in, but subject to environmental influences like the stress that may be on the mother, the quality of her nutrition, and the like. A second phase, a critical phase of human development, occurs with the onset of puberty. At puberty, the adolescent brain is essentially primed to, again, sort of replicate immense developmental growth and expansion in its interaction with its environment. And that's important to appreciate, that human beings are born basically with the same kinds of genetic structures for brain structure, but the actual structuring and the functioning of that brain will be highly sensitive to the environment in which it is developing. Development actually proceeds quite quickly in terms of a human lifespan, begins at puberty and is completed by roughly the mid-20s, this phase of development. And during that period of time, the brain is restructuring itself and it is designating its future functions by immense connectivity across parts of the brain. This is accomplished through an essentially use it or lose it principle. Those kinds of circuits that are used most frequently are reinforced, and in a process of pruning away the use of synaptic connections and regions that are underutilized, and strengthening through the process of myelination, which is essentially putting insulation, if you will, onto the neuronal systems so that they are more efficient in communicating chemically and electrically with each other. During this period of time, the adolescent brain is uniquely open to stimulation, novelty. It's uniquely open to experiences that shape learning. It's almost as though it is trying to build the bicycle while it's riding the bicycle developmentally. And it is also prone to very particular ways of decision making, including the process known as future discounting, which is the tendency to accept a more immediate reward in the short term than to defer gratification and get a more significant reward in the future. From an evolutionary point of view, this creates an adolescent that is curious, exploratory, open to change, to learning, to novelty, and primes the adolescent to engage in the kind of social learning that we'll see is very, very important in the later ways in which young people evolve to then engage as adults in their environment, including the adoption of social roles during that period of time, social roles that will be greatly influenced by their susceptibility to learning, their ease of learning, but also the social influences of peers and others around them. We'll see this later in the so-called age crime curve drop, where as neurodevelopment intersects with social learning and social development, they are prepared for engagement in positive social roles and engagement in their communities as adults if they have meaningful opportunities for them to do so. And the age crime curve kicks in because what they aspire in a meaningful life is incompatible with an adult career as a criminal. All of this is based on the platform, the development of the adolescent brain.